In one of the mining regions of Old France, strange phenomena began to take place, giving rise to legends about a terrible monster that had been lying underground for 3,000 years, mutating into a dreadful creature. The year is 1965. A young man named Amir has a terrifying dream in which miners die while trying to escape from this dreadful creature. Upon waking from the nightmare, he hurries to meet a friend who reminds him that they should leave soon if they want to secure a job. The boys reach the recruitment point where those seeking hard but well-paid jobs in the mine are gathering. At the recruitment center, the foreman holds 2 stamps in his hands, a red one for those deemed unsuitable and a green one for the selected candidates. He begins stamping as the recruits line up. Amir is rejected, but in a moment of desperation, he snatches the green stamp from the recruiter's hand and forcefully stamps himself multiple times. Laughing at Amir's audacity, the foreman reluctantly allows him to join. Amir is assigned to a mining company in the northern Pacal region of France, blissfully unaware that he has been placed in the 5th mine, ominously referred to by the miners as the Devil's House. One day, the renowned scientist Professor Berthier arrives at the mine, requesting to descend specifically into that 5th mine, a section usually reserved for the most problematic workers. At that moment, an injured miner is brought to the surface, carried by the foreman Roland. Professor Berthier insists on accompanying the injured miner. Just then, reinforcements from Morocco arrive at the mine, and Amir is assigned to Roland's crew. He quickly befriends the miners, and one of them, Santini, takes him under his wing, showing him the ropes. Roland assigns an experienced miner as Amir's mentor and orders the team to begin their descent into the mine. Amir feels quite uncomfortable, but like everyone else, he ignites his headlamp and begins his work with the mining tools. The labor is grueling, and Amir ends up injuring his hand with a jackhammer. Concerned, Roland sends him to see the horsekeeper. Amir is taken aback when he sees a living horse, which is also blind. It turns out the horse will soon be replaced by machinery, making it the last of its kind in the mine. Later, Roland notices a rat has crawled into Amir's bag and bitten his lunch. He explains that rats can sense danger, so miners feed them to keep them safe. Roland gives Amir an apple in exchange for the spoiled sandwich and instructs him to continue working. After his shift, Amir feels incredibly tired but refuses to give up. A week later, Roland announces that Professor Berthier will join them in the mine that day, offering them substantial payment for his assistance. The professor explains that he needs to reach a specific location within the mine, requiring the miners to blow up a wall. The team descends into the depths, and Roland assigns the sapper to handle the explosion. After the blast, a hole appears in the floor, surprising the miners with its sheer depth and the dangers it presents. Roland seeks to understand what exactly the professor is searching for, but receives no clear answer. Frustrated, he tosses Berthier's notebook down the hole. The professor volunteers to descend first, as he needs to locate something urgently. Soon, reinforcements from Morocco join the team, and Amir is introduced to the advanced equipment used for mining operations. Descending deeper into the mine, the miners recall the old legend of the cursed Salil mine. According to the tale, a century ago, the mine caught fire, and despite their efforts, 30 miners couldn't escape. As the miners explore, Berthier suddenly disappears. Roland splits his team into 2 groups to search for the missing professor. The miners shout for Berthier, but he remains silent. Amir's group discovers a human skeleton clutching a strange polyhedron. Intrigued, Amir examines the dead miner's hands and notices his fingers are crushed against the wall, with an inscription warning that all who enter are cursed because they are hunted by a monster lurking in the darkness. Santini attempts to lighten the mood by joking, easing his friend's tension, but the atmosphere remains tense as they reunite with Roland's group, who have also found human bones. The miners come across a set of hieroglyphics illuminating an ancient sarcophagus. Professor Berthier explains that, according to legend, the sarcophagus houses an ancient deity worshipped by the mine's original inhabitants. Intrigued, Berthier takes samples from the walls, noting that they are several thousand years old. Meanwhile, The rest of the team discovers a pile of human bones mixed with old weapons. Berthier speculates that these could have been guards protecting a sacred site, but his explanation raises more questions than answers. Suddenly, flashlights beam on the sarcophagus, and the professor takes pictures of the eerie structure. When Roland demands answers, Berthier hastily tosses his notebook down the hole. They rush back, finding that Santini has been gruesomely attacked by the emerging monster. Horrified, the miners realize that the legends of the cursed mine are terrifyingly real. Berthier tries to rationalize the situation, claiming he knows nothing specific about the ancient curse. However, Amir interrupts, asserting that the sarcophagus isn't a burial site, but a prison. He proposes using the polyhedron he found to map out the dungeon and locate an escape route. The miners agree. The miners decide to lure the monster into one of the tunnels and detonate explosives to destroy it. However, they must choose between confronting the beast or escaping themselves. Professor Berthier suggests returning to the sarcophagus to decipher the inscriptions, believing they might hold the key to escaping. As they navigate through the maze-like tunnels, Amir discovers a palindrome, a phrase that reads the same forwards and backwards. This revelation leads Berthier to conclude that the entrance and exit are interconnected, allowing for simultaneous entry and escape. Enjoying the story so far? Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support powers our adventures. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive back into the adventure. Realizing the significance of the palindrome, Amir and Berthier rush to the lever that controls the sarcophagus. Suddenly, the corpse of a horse begins to move, and the monstrous entity rises from it, its terrifying arms stretching out. As Professor Berthier steps into the creature's embrace, rejoicing in his first contact with the alien being, Amir witnesses his friend's gruesome death. Horrified, Amir dashes to the lever, hoping to shut down the monster. The miners on the other side of the sarcophagus assist him in activating the explosive device, following the professor's notes. Unbeknownst to them, the monster is already manipulating the debris to open the entrance once more. As Amir and Roland work together to set off the explosives, the monster's hands emerge from the debris, grabbing Amir by the legs and pulling him back into the darkness. Roland watches helplessly as his friend is dragged away. Overcome with despair, Roland takes the remaining explosives and begins to navigate the treacherous tunnels back to the surface. Meanwhile, Amir regains consciousness and sees the monster sitting atop a throne, holding one of the miners captive. In a final act of defiance, Amir pleads with the creature to release his friend. As the monster demands to be shown the way out, it reveals its true alien nature, declaring Amir its lord. Refusing to submit, Amir drives the knife deeper into the alien's chest, causing it to scream and weaken. With the monster faltering, Amir races to the lever once more, but the creature's grip tightens, pulling him back. Summoning his last ounce of strength, Amir fights against the monster's hold, desperately trying to reach Roland. Roland, now understanding the severity of their situation, urges Amir to trigger the explosives to ensure their escape. Despite his fear, Amir manages to pull the lever, but nothing happens. Realizing the danger, Roland takes over, using the explosive box to activate the charges. Together, they both grab the handle, and the resulting explosion engulfs the alien and the miners, sealing the entrance to the cursed dungeon forever.